Once you win it, and you've got to go all the way to the end.
Lando into the final corner, his first win of the championship. Lando across the line to win in China.
Because you commit yourself to such a level where there is no compromise. You give everything you have.
The strategy paid off. He had one of the best hits I've ever seen on the medium tires. Next, they'll tell and wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Deep in it was the final chicane. Rude is trying to go for it on the inside. There's still both wheels of order. Banging wheels. Old school's gone well.
Oh my word!
And you need more than anything a very clear mind to understand exactly when is the moment to be aggressive, when is the moment to be calculated.
He spun. Brendan's spun.
Oh, wing image. Oh, Brendan's out.
He's down a race. Oh my God, he's down a race.
When you are under a lot of pressure, in a critical moment, in a championship or in a particular race, it's the one that can put together the combination between aggressivity and calculating things that will get the best result.
Everybody into the lobby because now we are here and with these lovely graphics. You can see my name, Ethan Song, here to guide you through the action. Only me here tonight. Maverick is at work currently, so hopefully we can get him in for round 2, which will be in Imola. That would be the goal, but just about to load in here as we are 2 minutes past 8:10 here in BST. So hopefully. Yeah, just have to give me a second. Yeah, just explaining myself to the situation. Oh, I forgot to mute everybody. Hold on. There we go. Whoops, I think it should be good now. People in the Division 4 chat saying that they could hear me in game because I forgot to mute everybody. Whoops. Should be good now, though. I think I could change my oh, that's my controller. I think I could change my audio settings, just not. Oh, I might be able to change them here. Let's see what we could do about these audio settings. Audio settings. Here we go. Voice chat. Push to talk on. There we go. Mute by default on. Voice chat ducking. Yeah, that's fine. All right, there we go. All right. Since I won't be using voice chat anyways, here we go. All right, yeah, let's get everything up that we need to. First time using my computer to stream, so you'll have to bear with me for this one. But heading into the first round of the championship, of course, at Bahrain, the typical opener here. 15 corners around the circuit in secure, of course. Just getting up a few more track stats. As you could tell, I was not necessarily unprepared, but got a little rush with Division 1 as well. Are having to finish that up. So it's going to be 29 laps here tonight. Obviously, as I already said, 15 corners, 3 DRS zones, 1 down the pit straight, a second one down in between turns 3 and 4 up the hill through the first sector, and then between turns 10 and 11. Circuit length 5.412 kilometers. And the first race here in real life was 2004, of course. So, I think we should just be getting ready to load in here for the first round of the championship. Yeah, Division 4 is readying up now. 17 drivers 17 drivers in the lobby tonight. Just missing a few. Not what you want to see in the first round, but it is understandable. Hopefully we'll get a full lobby for the rest of the season then now. So here we go. Yeah, you can see the countdown already beginning. Looking into the chat, Rezify saying, let's go Esteban Jav. Ariel Rezify, that is, did pretty well in Division 1 his first time. I believe he was the Division 4 champion last season and moved up to Division 1 and did pretty well. I think he got P7 just a few minutes ago. Melta saying, Packer, my goat. I know. Some love for Old School and Robert Sum, the Aston Martin duo, Lou Anderson United. They're saying that, and now we can look forward to qualifying, so I can stop rambling and actually talk about some of the action out on track. So I'm looking forward to that. Alrighty, we have loaded in to the dusk times here in Bahrain, just before the sun sets, and we get into full qualifying trim here. But you can see all the drivers on the left-hand side of the screen. Let me get everything up here. I won't see any mediums in qualifying, unlike the last game, because they give you 4 sets of soft compound tires, the fastest tire that you can use, and the only tire you can use here in qualifying, and then you get a fresh set of mediums and hards for the race. Usually you only go through 3 of your 4 sets of the soft compound tire, because that's how it usually works out with the timing and everything as well. So the first driver out, Jamie Met in the Ferrari. Beautiful looking car, I must be said, in the number 37. Gary in the chat saying, let's go Old School, OG to OG right there. Rezify also wishing good luck towards Jordan. Colin R. Mason in the chat wishing luck to Jamie, Jess, and Old School as well. So Old School getting a lot of love here. Obviously in OG. Been here since the start of LOE, since Season 1, and has recently switched to Wheel. So we'll see how that endeavor goes for him. We'll be keeping a close eye on Old School there in the Aston Martin. I think he's just heading up towards turn 4. We can watch on board with him. up until we get to, well, until Jamie Met gets to the final corner. So we can kick off qualifying here. Not many places to invalidate here in Bahrain. You could cut turn 2. You can extend it turn 4, which I'm not sure how many people will be doing, especially with the new game handling model. Just because the curbs are absolutely deadly. If you get on a curb and a car isn't absolutely planted, then you will be in the outside or the inside wall, either way. But Jamie Met just starting his lap, that yellow, gray, and black helmet for him. Let's see what it can do for him. Let's hop on board with the Ferrari driver, and we can get rid of some of this HUD and get a decent look at what it's like to take a lap here at the Sakir circuit. Braking into turn 1, down to second gear, gets the car stopped nicely. Up to third, fourth gear as we head through turn 3, up to 6th now as he opens the gear up and powers up the hill for the second DRS straight on the circuit. Up to 8th gear, braking. You can use a little bit more track on the left, but it's going to be third gear at the apex and then full power up to 4th, 5th, 6th, and then you're going to flick it into 5th as you head through this little S section and a short shift. Be careful not to get on that curb on the exit because your car will bottom out. Second gear as we head into the difficult braking zone to turn 8, but an even more difficult braking zone heading up now. 7th gear as we brake into turns 9 and down in 10. Very easy to lock up that left or that inside front as you plunge down the hill. And now onto the third and final DRS straight of this circuit into turn 11. Very difficult on this game. Taps the inside curb. You have to whine on the power as you're putting in steering lock and up the hill as well. Now through flat out turn 12, a little bit of understeer in the car to 107.8 through the middle sector. Not the fastest thing we'll see through this session. Now heading through turn 13 and now down towards the final two corners of 14 and what isn't really a corner in 15. Braking into the final two corners is down to third gear to get the rotation. His ERS is on. Let's see what it's going to be for Jamie Met 92. And across the line, it's a 30.139. Let's see who else is going to be crossing the line. Jay Higgs. Hings has invalidated his lap, interestingly enough. I'm still going to have to work on a way to pronounce that, but it's a 30.2 for him. NL Energetics goes up to the top by quite a decent distance. It's a 29.1, and then T-Brum dethrones him from the Drink Alchemy team. 29.115. And then, just as I say that, Ryan B., Division 4 champion, 2 seasons removed, is 28.829 for the Mercedes drivers. Aston Martin, that's old school, 31.7. I'm sure I'll be looking to improve on that. Then another Red Bull of Harry Noir just starting a lap, I believe. Alpine of Marcy, 30.074. Now there's going to be an Alfa Romeo. Is that Jav just starting a lap, or is that Esteban? Up into P4, 29.331. McLaren, Connor O'Keefe, 29.3. That's what we like to see from him. He finished second, I believe, in the Division 5 championship, and then Jess Gamer goes just in front of Old School, just behind Swip in the qualifying order right now. So 12 out of 17 drivers have set lap times. So just looking. Yeah, you have fun with that, Melty. Yeah, Jav just starting a lap. Let's see if there's anyone else finishing. Jordan just pulled through the middle sectors. 107.6, so equal enough with Jamie Met by a tenth or two. So let's see what he can do. There's a driver in front of him. I'm not entirely sure who that is. No one on a lap, I don't think. Yeah, they're just heading into the pit lane. Who am I looking at? I'm looking for Jordan. Ariel Jordan, 29.6. And that puts him up into P6, interestingly enough. Ibo to the line, P14. And it will go slowest out of everybody so far. Anyone else on a lap right now? Obviously, Jav. Harry Noir has invalidated. And Jay Hings pulled into the pits after his first run. So I'd imagine he's on a fresh set of tires and will be going again. So here is Ariel, Jav, Soriano, of course. That's what the SRN is for. Coming out of turn 10, looked pretty neat and tidy for the Alfa Romeo driver. Got the relentless helmet on his head in the cockpit. Up to 8th gear, braking into turn 11. Just flick it in and apply the power. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there from the Alfa Romeo. And another one as he heads up towards turn 12. Yellow flags in sector 3. That's just drivers trying to back up and get some clean air for their flying laps. And that's Jav around at turn 13. As he spins it. A very difficult corner to get the power on. It's 4th, 5th gear if you want to be careful. But yeah, definitely somewhere I'm sure that's somewhere where we're going to see a few drivers spin in the race. So let's get on board with Jay Hings then, because he's going to be the next driver to complete a lap. Marcicum did another one. I'm not sure if he improved. He's still out there on track, 2 laps on his tires now. Usually you just want to do the one flying lap and then head into the pit lane, get another fresh set of tires on, and then do that 3 times. Get your 3 runs in. But you do have a little bit of time to spare in between all of those runs. Ryan B, heading out for an outlap, as well as Jamie Met and Sir. I'm really gonna struggle. I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need someone to help me pronounce that name. But yeah, Jay Hings heading through this S section of turns 6 and 7. Now braking, you can use the curb on the left-hand side just to open up the hairpin just a little bit more, make the traction just that little bit easier, gain all the time. Or gain all that time just because you're carrying more speed, and the traction will be easier. The car will get straightened up nicer, gets it straightened up out on the exit of turn 10. That DRS zone or activation point comes up quite early, especially on the race when you're on worn hards or worn mediums, and you can get a little bit of wheel spin there towards the end. There's an Alpine just in the way. They're not sure who that was, but they got out of the way decent enough, I guess. 107.4 for Jay Hings. Not too bad. A purple middle sector, it says, on the track map. So let's see what it's going to be, as he has only one real corner left to go. Breaking into the final corner using all the track that he can. Looks decent enough on the exit, using that exit curb to his advantage. And with DRS open, it's going to be a 29.5. So just a little bit off of pole position, or current provisional pole position for the time being. Let's see who is furthest along on a lap. Alpine is heading through the first sector. Jay's obviously just finished. I think it's going to be this guy. Once again, I still have no idea how to pronounce his name, and I don't really want to butcher it, so we're just not going to attempt for the time being. Heading through 6 and 7. Purple first sector, it said, for the Alpine. Didn't quite catch the sector split time, as there's a Mercedes right behind them. I believe that is Ariel Jordan, just looking for a way past. Alpha Tower getting out of the way. That's Hings out of the way of Ryan B. But here we go, opening up the DRS. A little bit of a slide there for the Alpine driver. Stick all the way to the right-hand side. Go all the way over the curb as well. You can see the car sparking as they head into the braking zone, into the bumpy bits, over that curb on the left-hand side, and then flicking into the right, a long right-hander. That's all flat out. 1.1 seconds up on his current time, so that would put him on a 29.1. Let's see if he can find any more in this final sector. He's going to be challenging Ryan B for provisional pole position. He can find a few, if you can find a little bit more time in this final sector. Ryan B on a lap right now. We'll have to see what it's going to be for the Mercedes man. Obviously, the first round of the championship, everyone trying to assert themselves in this order. It's a 28.994. Decent lap there for the Alpine. It puts him on the provisional front row through the second runs here in qualifying. Ryan B looking pretty good through the final corner. On board, you can see opening up the DRS up to 8th gear. It's a 28.4. That's really good for Ryan B. Possibly looking to make a push up into Division 3. Maybe. You never really know. T-Brum has just started a lap. Energetics on his out lap right now. Esteban is heading through the middle sector of 9 and 10. Let's see what he can do through 10. Looks pretty good. A little bit of a wiggle there in the end. But I think there's a Red Bull just heading to the line. That should be Harry Noir. There's an Aston Martin in front of him. Is that Old School? Yes, that's Old School just getting out of the way. And I think my game has just crashed again. Alrighty, we are back. 4 minutes left in qualifying as we just see Energetics with a little bit of a slide there out of turn 4. Let's see if anything changed. Connor O'Keefe has gone up onto the front row. Most people in the pit lane right now. Energetics are out of track as we were just watching. Marcy on an outlap as well. Hings and Ibo not on an outlap, but let's see. I think he's just backed off. He's going to be heading back to the pit lane, I would assume. And I'm not one to assume, really. Am I? Anyways, Ryan B. on provisional pole position by a good decent amount of time is Connor O'Keefe heading out onto the track for the third and final time, I believe, here in qualifying. As he breaks into turn 1 with those cold tires. Saronje? Saronje? I'm not entirely sure how to say this, but we're just going to go with Sir. Saronge. Saronge. That's my best guess, all right? I'm American. English is not my first language, all right? Saronge is in third. Harry Noir at P4 as well. T-Brum Energetics fill out the third row. Esteban Marcy, Jav, Hings are the rest of the top 10. Ariel, Jordan, Jamie, Met, Swip, Rumpel, Fogel, Just Gamer, Old School, and Ibo are your top 17. But let's ride on board. I think was that Connor O'Keefe. That's Connor O'Keefe having a spin down to turn 10. Anyways, let's get on board with Energetics, as Energetics has also made a mistake, or he's just going for a second warm-up lap, which is something you typically don't see on the Formula 1 game. But you never really know with Division 4. So, Saronje, MP2. Connor O'Keefe, I think he's going to be the next driver to start a lap so we can ride on board with the McLaren driver. Second place in Division 5 last season. Had a few very good performances last season. But let's see what we can do here. Let's see what he can do here in Division 4. All the grids are going to be much more competitive with more drivers fighting for spots. 7 or around 7 reserve drivers for each division, just to make sure we can get those full grids out to each and every one of you watching the stream right now. Connor O'Keefe breaking into the first corner with the ERS on. Third gear through the apex, keeping those high gears up to 4th and now to 5th as the revs climb higher and higher. DRS opening now to gain you that just a little bit of extra time as he heads through turn number 4. Third gear for the McLaren driver up to 4th, putting the throttle down now, and is absolutely full throttle through here. He's up by half a tenth. He's going to need more than that if he wants to challenge Ryan B. Over that inside curve at turn 7, and now breaking into turn number 8 as we go through this beautiful camera shot of that turn 8 hairpin. Look at makes it look so much easier than it actually is. That corner now into 9 and 10, trail braking into the corner, get it slowed down, and then carry the speed through the exit and try and get the car straightened up to put the power down onto this DRS straight, and now down towards turn 11. One of the most difficult corners on this circuit as you head uphill, cambers inside over the curb. That's not where you want to be putting your car. What is it going to be for Connor O'Keefe through the middle sector? It's going to be a 106.7 purple. He's a tenth and a half up here. It was purple for a little bit. He's a tenth and a half up. He's still going to need more. This is only a 28.6 right now. He needs at least a tenth and a half if he wants to put it on provisional pole position. This is going to be his final lap because he doesn't have any more ERS. Let's see what it's going to be for Connor O'Keefe. Across the line with the McLaren driver, it's not enough, and he lost so much time in that final sector. Lost half the time that he gained through the first 2 sectors. Saronje now to the line. It's a 7.88, so he only stays in his position and improves by 0.2 of a second. There's a Red Bull. Is that Harry Noir just starting his lap? Haas is Rumpelfugel in 13th. Mercedes, that's Ryan B just starting his lap, and then there's an Alpha Tauri. I think that was Hings. And now let's get on board with who's the next driver going to be. It's going to be Energetics. He was down through the middle sector. I think he's just backed off and going again. This is going to be his 3rd lap, I think. And he just barely makes it to the line. So all these laps now will be counting. Jav, he wasn't up through the middle sector, so he's going to be improves marginally, just enough to get in front of Marcy. Aston Martin to the line. That was Old School. He's up to 16th. Williams will pit. That's Swip. in P14, so he's locked in there. Old School and Ibo will be starting 16th and 17th, the last two places on the grid. Now, we're going to be looking for T-Brum here, just around the final corner, not up in the middle sector. Not many drivers are improving here. Let's see what it's going to be for the Haas driver. Doesn't improve on his lap, so he will stay 5th, even with a purple final sector. Jess Gamer to the line, our Division 3 commentator. 2.5 tenths, not enough to bring her up any positions. Ariel Jordan out to the line, looking to improve on 11th. Obviously, free tire choice now for everybody on the grid. P8 for him. Jamie Met to the line now, improves by 2 tenths. Only good enough for P12. Now there's going to be an Alfa Romeo that's going to be Esteban, as Jav has already crossed the line. And there's a Red Bull of Harry Noir in behind him. The Alfa Romeo of Esteban, let's see what it's going to be. 29.3 to a 29.2. Only 400ths improvement for him. Harry Noir finds 4 tenths and jumps up to 3rd. McLaren Connor O'Keefe crosses the line. Ryan B to the line. What seat it's going to be? He's already on provisional pole position. It's a 28.3 for the Mercedes driver. Jay Hings goes up to 5th. Saronje has made a mistake and he's backing off. NL Energetics is already, is going to be crossing the line. He's still not improving though. And finds 7,000s, but not enough for any positions. And Rempel will head into the pit lane. So that's going to be it for qualifying, unless Saronje has something else to say about it, but he's just entered the pit lane as well in behind the Haas, and that's going to be it for qualifying. Ryan B on pole position by a decent 3, or over 3 tenths gap to Connor O'Keefe in 2nd place, Harry Noir in 3rd, Saronje in 4th, Hings in 5th to round out your top 5. Only the top 4 into the 1 minute 28s. And Jay Hings, over 2 tenths slower than 4th place. So I'll run you through your order very quickly. As you can see, Ryan B's character there on the left-hand side of the screen. It's going to be Ryan B for Mercedes on pole position, followed by Connor O'Keefe in the McLaren. Then Harry Noir in the Red Bull, Saronje in the Alpine, and then Jay Hings T-Brum on the 3rd row of the grid in the Alpha Tower in the Haas. Energetics, the 2nd Red Bull here this week so far. Esteban, and then Ariel Jordan and Ariel Jav will be rounding out the top 10. So Ariel all 5th row. Then it's going to be Marcy, Jamie Met, Rumpel, Swip. And then as we just scroll down the list here, it's going to be Jess Gamer, Old School, and Ibo taking the last position on the grid. 3.9 seconds from Ibo to pole position, 2.5 for Old School there. But the talk of the town here in qualifying is going to be Ryan B, 3.5 tenths faster than Connor O'Keefe here in the first round of the championship. Now, we'll head into the race. And I wonder how many people are going to be on hard tires. I didn't commentate over Division 4 last season, but I did the 2 seasons prior, and I can tell you it is a wannabe Division 1. So we'll see what happens when I commentated on Division 5 last season. The strategies were insane is probably the word to describe it. A lot of different things were happening. The ideal strategy was not one of them, to be completely honest. But that's, part of the show here at the League of Europe, especially in Division 4. So let's see what we will get from these drivers. 15 seconds until the lights out for the formation lap. The formation lap also important now, as drivers can't drive into their grid spot as well. So let's see how this is going to go then. Looking for the strategy, the tires that the drivers will be on. I see mediums for Ryan B in 1st place. That's an interesting decision there. But it can work if you do have the pace to pull it off. And it looks like, as you probably could have expected, more drivers are on mediums than hard. So it's going to be Ryan B, Connor O'Keefe splitting strategies on the medium and the hard. Harry Noir and Saronje in 3rd and 4th on the mediums. Jay Hings in 4th on the hards. And then T-Brub, Energetics on the mediums and the hards, respectively. Then Esteban on the hards. Jordan on the mediums. Jav on the hards. And then it's Marcy, Jamie, Matt, Rumpel, Swip, Jess, all on the mediums in 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then Old School and Nibo, the Old School duo at the back on the soft compound tires. An interesting decision there, just looking to make up some places. Those tires, very easy to warm up, but they will go off quite quickly as well. So strategies here for these drivers without any interruptions. It should be either a soft hard for the guys starting on the softs, or a medium hard or a hard medium, depending on which tire you are starting on. So looking around lap 12 for the mediums, and then lap 16, 15, 16 for the hard compound tires. You would typically expect that the hard medium would be better, especially with the awful warm-up on the hard tires. But you never really know. Those medium runners can get out to a pretty decent jump in those first 10 or so laps, and get that strategy to work for them. But there are so many drivers on the medium tires. It almost looks like we're back to F1 2021. People trying to qualify on the medium tires and do that medium hard, because the tire warm-up wasn't quite as bad on that previous game. But now we shall see. Ryan B, let's see how he gets into his grid slot. No burnouts for the X Division 4 champion. Actually, as I say that, does a few burnouts into his grid slot. He'll stop, and he's going to tilt his car towards the right. See what Connor O'Keefe looking pretty straight. Harry Noir looking straight. Saronjay, Hings. Energetics pointing to the left was a bit weird, as Jab, Swip, and Old School have all been disqualified. That's interesting. Anyways, let's get back up to the front. So Ryan B, as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in front of the drivers, and it's lights out, and away we go. You'd expect Ryan B moves over to the right and gets a pretty decent start, but now it's going to be Harry Noir challenging Connor O'Keefe into the first corner here at Bahrain. If I could get a better camera angle. Hello? Hello? No? Alright, anyways, Ryan B, Harry Noir will be 1 and 2 into the first corner. Connor O'Keefe cuts across turn 2, and Saronjay is challenging him. But now Connor O'Keefe around the outside with his ERS on in the McLaren. There's a Haas trying to get involved in, just in behind as well. Connor O'Keefe a little bit wide. Those hard tires not quite as warm as he'd like them to be. T-Brum with a little bit of a slide, but he's gonna have to stay in 5th place for the time being. So Connor O'Keefe losing 2 places off the start, but that is the least of his worries right now. He's just gonna have to try and stick with those medium runners, especially Ryan B, who's looked to have quite good pace already here in Bahrain. Marcy and Jay Hings getting acquainted with each other in this new season. The Alpine and the Alpha Tauri. Hings a little bit deep into turn 10, but nothing that he can't fix, as Esteban and Old School going side by side. Ibo going a little bit wide there in the background in his Williams. Old School up to 15th, but I'm sure he would have wanted more positions starting on the inferior tire to the medium and the hard, because those soft tires cannot go for very long. Just Gamer just in front of them. But let's get back up to the front. Ryan B already pulling 1.2 seconds in purple middle sector. Was kind of what you expected from him after seeing his pace in qualifying. Saronjay only 3/10 of a second behind Harry Noir. They won't have DRS going onto the pit straight. It won't get activated until the next lap, and even then they won't even have it until that second straight, heading up towards turn 4. Ryan B, fastest lap of the race, 134.874. That's flying for the Mercedes driver. But now the Alpine versus the Red Bull into turn 1. Here we go. Haas versus McLaren in the background as well. T-Brum up the inside of Connor O'Keefe. It's like what we saw at turn 1 on lap 1. But Connor O'Keefe will keep it on the inside of turn 2. T-Brum just letting him know his nose is there. He's already drained his battery to 30%, and he's not going to be able to challenge the McLaren into the 4th corner of this lap. Only the 19th of this entire race, so still got a long way to go. Esteban into the pit lane as well. Must be fixing some damage, and also onto a set of medium tires. Ooh, T-Brum getting very sideways out of 7 there. If you get on those curves if you get on those curbs just a little bit wrong, you could go flying into a barrier at quite the rate of knots. But anyways, Ryan B up at the front. Harry Noir reeling him in just a little bit, bringing that gap below a second just for the slightest of times. Ryan B using a little bit of ERS, Harry Noir as well, but Saronjay really using up that battery, already down to 30%. Connor O'Keefe to 60, as he had to defend from T-Brum, who's not much higher than Saronjay. Energetics on the hards. Second highest driver on the hards, doing pretty well for himself. Already finding himself in a little bit of no man's land, pulling away from Jamie, but not able to stick with the top 5. As here we go into turn 1, Jamie and Jordan going side by side, 2 medium runners fighting it out between themselves. Around the outside goes Ariel Jordan trying to make it work, and I think he's going to. And Jamie is just going to give out the position, but now neither of them have DRS, but Marcy does. Into turn 4, he's looking to make a double overtake. He's on the inside. You can see the tire marks being left by that Alpine, and he's only going to get to 1 position, but still a decent move there for Jamie, as I almost fell out of my chair just then. But anyways, Marcy up to P8, Jordan up to P7 as well. So Jamie Met getting a little bit unlucky there not to get DRS, but he is going to be down to P9 as Connor O'Keefe and T-Brum. Who is that? Saronje has made a mistake out of turn 8, going off onto the left-hand side. No damage, it looks like, for the Alpine. It looks like his car is all working fine and dandy, but just a little bit of mistake there from the Alpine driver. Now T-Brum and Connor O'Keefe up to 3rd and 4th, and they're going to be fighting for that podium position. Connor O'Keefe on the hards as well, just getting very close to Harry Noir. I think he might have just been off the course at turn 11 there, and Ryan B is just being allowed to absolutely run away with his race lead. That medium hard strategy looking to do wonders for him early on here. Because if he can pull that gap, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, then I think he'll be good once it gets to that tire warm-up phase, once he does hit the pits here in Bahrain. Ryan B, fastest lap of the race, 132.89 seconds. That's flying for a Division 4 driver. Now Connor O'Keefe on Harry Noir, getting to turn 1. The McLaren driver, I think, is just going to get it. Harry Noir breaks deeper, breaks later, but T-Brum breaking deeper and later. The both of them goes off the track and will compromise his run. Now, that's going to compromise him trying to get involved with this battle, because Connor O'Keefe on the hards should have a good shot. Neither of them have DRS up towards turn 4, and no moves will be made. Saronji couldn't make his way past T-Brum either, as we have Swip and Jess. I think Swip has made a little bit of a mistake, spun out of turn 2. Now Hings and Jamie Met side by side. That's going to be Jamie Met past the AlphaTauri on those medium tires. They're going to be good for a few more laps, and then those hard tires will start to be better. Around lap 7, 8 is when the hards start to become better, and even then, Connor O'Keefe still doing absolute wonders. T-Brum just falling so closely through 9 and 10, trying to get the best run possible. Those medium tires, as I already mentioned, still a little bit better than the hards. Looking into turn 11, he's going to send it. No, he's not. Not quite close enough is the Haas driver. Already 27% ERS as well for T-Brum. He's going to need to keep that in check. There's still another 25 laps to go. He's going to have to manage his ERS, and if he doesn't get it in check soon, he's going to be at a very low amount for the rest of the race. But still, Ryan B up at the front is pulling well clear of the rest of the field. 3 was that? That's just never mind. 3 seconds clear of the rest of the field already. But now here we go on board with Connor O'Keefe. It down towards turn 1. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. Not using his ERS, but now here comes Saronje and T-Brum. T-Brum using his ERS. Saronje already used his ERS into turn 1. Connor O'Keefe up the inside of Harry Noir, so he was quite close enough. And Saronje is going to get the block pass on T-Brum as well as we head up now through turn 3, and he's going to get the DRS as well. Connor O'Keefe, the same thing on Harry Noir, the same exact move in 2 different places. T-Brum using his ERS up towards turn 4. Saronji didn't get the best of runs out of 2, but they are going to keep positions for the time being. So Connor O'Keefe on the hards doing a very good job. Still 4 seconds behind Ryan B, but those hard tires are going to start to get better. Those medium tires for Ryan B are going to start to get worse. Harry Noir 3rd, Saronje 4th, T-Brum in 5th. Energetic still only 2nd back from these guys on the hard tires, so he's doing good for himself and matching near enough to what Connor O'Keefe is doing up at the front of the field. Jordan, within a second of him now, he has the DRS. Marcy, unfortunate to miss out as well as Jamie Met, and Hings right on the back of him. Are we going to see move down towards turn 11, the AlphaTauri and the Ferrari? The number 2 AlphaTauri up the inside, not quite close enough to get the move done, as Jamie Met just able to hold the position around the outside. Ooh, Jamie Met has to lift off the gas because he had to compromise the line, and now Hings up the inside of turn 13. And we'll get the move done on the hard. So tire grip really not playing a factor in this, just setting him up was Hings into turn 13 there. Was able to get that move done, but I think he's showed his hand a little bit early, because Jamie Met should just be able to get him back down in the pit straight, but Hings with whatever wings those are, doing a very good job for himself. Jordan and Energetics now into turn 1. The Red Bull driver around the outside of the Mercedes. Going to go side by side here through the first corners. And that's Saronje who spun from the front of the field from P5. That's going to promote Energetics and Jordan up to 5th and 6th respectively. And he's going to be dropping down all the way to P11 behind Rumpel. And that's really going to cook his tires. I think that's the second spin he's already had that he's had already in this race. So, not the greatest of starts to a league racing season for Saronje, but still a long way to go here in LOE Season 8. Alright, just had to get a little bit of a drink of water as Rumpel with a little bit of a mistake off of turn 13. That's going to leave the door open for Saronje. He's not going to go for the move. Smart there from the Alpine driver, although he would have had DRS either way in front of him. Connor O'Keefe, I think, made a mistake out of turn 8. He's going to go for the move to re-overtake T-Brum into turn 1. Is he going to get that done? Still side by side. The medium tires on the outside doing wonders for the Haas drivers. The McLaren just can't quite get the power down on those hards quite yet. That is a notification. I should turn my notifications off. We'll get that sorted for next week. As Energetics and Jordan going side by side. Once again, is Energetics able to keep it around the outside? Yes, he is. Connor O'Keefe getting up, or not getting up into P3. What am I saying there? Unable to make the overtake on T-Brum. Let's get back down further as Saronje still behind Rumpel. Heading into turn 8, a little bit of a squeeze from the Haas driver. All fair. Oh, that is unlucky. Is that damage for Saronje there? Rumpel with a little bit of a mistake having that slide, and Saronje just nowhere to go. I would be very surprised if that wasn't damaged, but that brings Jess and Jav, who's only a little bit further behind, back or into this battle somewhat. A little bit of a gap now between Rumpel and Jamie. Met 2.5 seconds as Hings has spun. Ooh, and broken his front wing. So that's going to be someone into the pit lane. He's going to be down to the back of the grid as Swip, Old School, Ibo, and Esteban are all pretty close to each other. As Ryan Beast, it's the fastest lap of the race. Up at the front, is that someone else? That's Swip as well at the same corner. So you can already see that those medium tires are starting to go off, and there is a VSC. So everyone will have to slow down or slow their pace. Someone just went. Oh, I think I'm seeing things. Anyways, let's see if anyone without damage will pit. Jay hangs in obviously for damage. Old School and Ibo should pit. Yep, he's going to be in. Swip is going to be in. Ibo stays out. Interesting. And Esteban will stay out as well. So that's going to be the VSC period. 3 drivers into the pit lane. 2 for damage. 1 just to get off of his absolutely dead soft tires for a set of mediums. Everybody going on to a set of mediums except for Swip, who is somewhat forced onto the softs, I'd say. He could have gone hards. They would have made it to the end. They would not have been too great at the end, but either way. So let's look, just waiting for this VSC to end so we can go back racing. T-Brum and Harry Noarg, quite close to each other. Track both on the mediums, of course. Connor O'Keefe and Energetics on the hards. 6 seconds separates those two. Energetics has company for Jordan and Marcy just behind him. Is DRS enabled? And we are racing once again. Connor O'Keefe looked to have a pretty decent restart on the mini-map. Saronje and Rumpel getting side by side, and I think Saronje has just made his move finally after that mistake from Rumpel down at turn 8. Now, Connor O'Keefe in P4. He was in P2 just a few laps ago. Now with the DRS open. T-Brum has it open as well. T-Brum not using his DRS. Connor O'Keefe not using his DRS as well. Just able to get that move done. I think T-Brum just knows as they go a little bit deep. Connor O'Keefe, though, seems to be the best line for that. Gets a poor run through turn 2 and 3, squeezing T-Brum all the way to the right-hand side of the circuit, wheel banging as they head up the hill as well. Connor O'Keefe on the outside. T-Brum with those medium tires, though, going to be side by side, and now the Haas driver was ahead for a little bit. Connor O'Keefe, they're side by side, absolutely equal, and Connor O'Keefe's going to have to back out of that one as T-Brum has a little bit of a slide, bottoming out on the exit curb at turn 7 into the hairpin of 8, and I think T-Brum has just kept that position for the time being. A little bit of ERS off the corner to create that gap, but now they've dropped DRS from Harry Noir, so T-Brum's going to be vulnerable to Connor O'Keefe using the DRS, not using his ERS. He knows he can just wait and wait and wait, and he can make the move whenever he wants now that the Haas does not have DRS in front of him. Since the restart, Energetics and Jordan have almost dropped Marcy. He just barely snuck within DRS range, and now he's pretty comfortably within. And then no one else behind them is within DRS, as Ibo and Esteban have gotten close together, and the Alfa Romeo has gone for a little bit of a spin. Let's get back up to T-Brum and Connor O'Keefe, though. P3 and P4 fighting for this final podium position for the time being. Obviously different strategies, but we'll see how that pans out towards the end of this race. And now that T-Brum doesn't have DRS, Connor O'Keefe just flies his way past the Haas driver, and now he's going to be within DRS of Harry Noir, I think, and he's going to get DRS. So Connor O'Keefe there, playing that to absolute perfection as the McLaren driver. Connor O'Keefe a little bit deep there in turn 4, but had a big enough a gap with the DRS off of Harry Noir to keep T-Brum in behind for the time being. With that mistake, though, at turn 4 comes him having to push a little bit more here through this middle sector to get back within DRS range. T-Brum comfortably within the second window of Connor O'Keefe, but Connor O'Keefe right on the edge there as it dips and dives under a second for a little bit. Is it going to go back over? Looks like Harry Noir just has some pretty decent straight line speed, and Connor O'Keefe has some very low wings, or is using his ERS. As Ibo was just off the track, he does have Hings now to keep him company. Jav trying to get within DRS range of Rumpel for P10. Saronje still behind Jamie Met after pulling a 2-second gap to the Haas driver behind him. Jamie Met has 7.5 seconds to Marcy in front. But let's get back up to here as we on to the front straight here as Ryan B sets the fastest lap of the race, 132.395. Very, very quick there for Ryan B as he's leading by 5 seconds. Harry Noir, Connor O'Keefe. Harry Noir moving over to the right-hand side, the middle of the circuit, just to throw a little bit of a block. Not fooling Connor O'Keefe, though. He will just power his way out of turn 2 as Old School, I think, has made a mistake. He falls behind Swip. Let's see what it's going to be for these three, though. This seems to be the most entertaining battle out on the circuit right now. Marcy, Jordan, and Energetics are all quite close together as well, but Jordan seemingly falling off a little bit. Those medium tires not as good as they used to be. Lap 11 here in Bahrain. As we have Saronje and Jamie Matt getting quite close through the middle sector. The first half of this middle sector as we dive down the hill, and then climb back up just a little bit, and then go into that downhill turn 9 and 10. Ibo into the pit lane. Saronje and Jamie Matt P8 and P9. Not the greatest exits for the Alpine, but it's good enough. He has DRS. He doesn't exactly have the ERS because Jamie Matt has all of it. 80% for the Ferrari, only just below 20 for the Alpine. Unable to make a move this time around is Saronje. I think he'll have to wait until turn 1 or turn 4, but you never really know with this guy, it seems. Speaking of the main straight, as Harry Noir is into the pit lane at the end of lap 11 for a fresh set of hard tires. That's going to be a one-stop for Harry Noir. Let's see, Saronje and Jamie Matt. Saronje has the DRS. Jamie Matt not using any of his ERS, if anything, saving a little bit. As Saronje with DRS, not quite quick enough to get clear and ahead, but he's as they break into turn 1. Jamie Met tries to get the switchback line, but Saronja is so slow through that first corner that it doesn't even matter. He's going to be up into P7. As Harry Noir has just come out of the pit lane on a fresh set of hard tires. Those things are going to be absolutely freezing. Jess Gamer tries to go up the inside, but breaks a little bit early, causing Harry Noir to swoop around the outside and to keep that place. So fair play to him, but you can see how slow he is on those hard tires. He's going to lose so much time. Going deep into turn 8 there as well. Not what you want to see from someone who just pitted from second place. T. Bruman and Connor O'Keefe getting close still, or are still close. Jamie Matt and Saronja have now finally swapped places, and he still has 7 and a bit seconds to go if he wants to catch the next car of Marcy, which I'm sure he will be wanting to do. Ooh, as T-Brum into the pit lane as well. So most of the medium runners will be coming in soon, I would expect. And a lap 12 for T-Brum on this occasion. Who else is in? Ariel Jordan is in. Marcy stays out. Ryan B obviously stayed out on his medium. Saronja stays out. Jamie stays out. Rumpel will be in. Just Gamer is in. And then we'll have to wait for some of these other drivers. But once again, we shall see. So 4 drivers into the pit lane looking for a fresh set of tires. And I think they're going to get it. Let's see where Harry Noir comes out in all of this. Harry Noir a decent ways behind T-Brum, 3.2 seconds. But that driver is going to be going so slow on this outlap. Harry Noir through turn 4. Let's see how much he gains. Half a second, 0.6 or so for the Red Bull driver. Is that going to be enough, though? Because T-Brum, he hasn't quite caught T-Brum yet, anyways. And it looks like he's going to be staying in front of his T-Brum. So a decent undercut there from the Haas driver. As there's an Aston Martin around to the first corner. I believe the only Aston Martin is Old School here in this race. Ryan B into the pit lane. Connor Keefe, of course, will stay out. Energetics, of course, will stay out as he is on the hards as well as Jav. But we do have Marcy, Saronja, Jamie, all on the medium tires, yet to make their first pit stop. And also Marcy. I think I said Marcy. He has just pitted. Now Connor O'Keefe on 13 lap old hards. So, who am I looking for? Ryan B onto a fresh set of hards as well as Marcy. And we are back after another quick drink of water. Absolutely exhausted after that Division 1 race just a little bit earlier. You should have seen my shirt, man. That thing was absolutely drenched in sweat, and that was only for a P11. But anyways, Ryan B has just come out in front of Jav here for P4. So Ryan B obviously pitted from the lead of this race. He is in P4 for the time being. Jav with a little bit of a slide there. T-Brum one lap old tires. Harry Noir with 2 laps completed on his Jordan. 8 seconds behind Harry Noir on on fresher tires, as well as Marcy and Saronja, both on hard, the 2 Alpines. And Jamie Met finally into the pit lane, as he was the last driver to start on a set of the medium compound tires. Let's see what it's going to be. Obviously, interactive formation laps and what was I going to say? Interactive pit lane and formation laps, of course. So here we go then. Yeah, out of the pit line. What's it going to be like for Jamie Matt? I mean, it doesn't look that bad for him. Let's see what it's going to be through turn 4 and through this middle sector, because that's really the worst bit of it, isn't it, then? But yeah, I think Jamie Matt has survived. Jay Hings on the back of Saron J. Esteban still on the back of these guys as well after pitting very early on for that set of medium tires. In turn 8 here, Jay Hings on those mediums. They're going to be, it's difficult to say if they're going to be better or not because those hard tires still warming up a little bit for Saron J. But, you know, they are going to get better, those hard tires. Low fuel as well. You'll be able to chuck the car into a few more corners than you normally would be able to. And he's going to be trying to stay with Jamie Matt, who has just come into his clutches a little bit, you know. He's within DRS range now, is the Alpine driver of the Ferrari, so looking to challenge him. But up at the front, Energetics, Connor O'Keefe, still out on track. Rampy 13.5 seconds behind them now, on that undercut strategy, of course. Jav a 1.5 seconds behind him now. Not exactly pulled as much as I thought he would. Jav also on 0% ERS now, which is a bit sus behavior there from Heavier. T-Brum 5 seconds behind them. Harry Noir within DRS range. Saron J and Jamie Met into the first corner. The Ferrari and the Alpine going side by side. Saron J, I think, is just going to keep the position for the time being. He has one more lap on his tires. He has just that little bit more temperature, that little bit more confidence as Jamie Met weaving all over the shop, trying to get this position back off of the Alpine. But into turn 4, he's not going to be able to do anything about it. So, yeah, Jamie Met down to P10. Jay Hings on those medium tires, old and wearing medium tires, looking pretty good for, not looking great for him. Only P11 for him right now, and with that damage that he had, really not the greatest of afternoons for your first League of Europe race. But anyways, Connor O'Keefe up at the front, still leading NL Energetics by a whole 8 seconds to the Red Bull driver. You'd expect most of them would be onto the pits this lap, especially with Ryan B. already making his way past Jav, T-Brum, and all of them as Jav pulls into the pits on lap 16 here, which I think might just be a good decision for the Alfa Romeo driver. Get a little bit of an undercut on Connor O'Keefe and Energetics. Because those medium tires are going to be very good once you get them up to temperature. Let's see where he's going to flow out, though. I think he's going to just be in front of Saron J, but he might get challenged by one of them just because of the tire temp problem. Let's see. Let's ride on board with Saron J. Actually, let's ride on board with Jay Hings because he's going side by side with Jamie Met. And there's a Alfa Romeo just coming out of the pit lane, just behind or near him, or not coming out of the pit lane. What? There were 3 wide somehow. I'm not entirely sure. Jay Hings, Esteban, and Jamie Met all going side by side into the first corner as Jab trying to get his tires warmed up. He's been passed by Saron J right now. He just needs a few more corners to get those tires up to a usable working temperature. Once you get out of turn 10 usually is when they start to get warmed up. He has Jay Hings right on the back of him though. When I was trying to get my medium tires warmed up in Division 1, I had a yellow flag that someone had to give me the position back. So that was probably the best thing happen right now. But no, it looks like no one's... Oh, jab a little bit deep into turn 10. A little bit of contact with Jay Hings. Possibly a tap from the back by the Alpha Tower. Difficult to say, but Jav has now lost another position. He was a little bit wide and on that curve. That's not where you want to be. But looks like those tires are starting to fire up for the Alfa Romeo driver. Up at the front, though, Connor O'Keefe and Energetics still staying out. This is really quite questionable because with the low tire pressures they have to run now since the patch, or since the new patch, that tire wear is going to start to be getting a little high. I'm sure you'd be starting to lose confidence. And Ryan B in the last few laps has already taken out 2 seconds of these two. And those medium tires are not going to be good for the entire rest of the race. They're going to start to drop off the last 1 or 2 laps at this rate. But, man, it's going to be... Oh, I see it difficult for anyone to make his way past Ryan B. Jab, though, into turn 1 with the use of DRS, makes his way past Jay Hings. But now up towards turn 4, the Alpha Tower is going to have DRS on the Alfa Romeo, but Jav gets a good enough run out of 2 to get that move done and to hold on to it. And now he will be able to pull away from this Alpha Tower and onto the back of Saronje, who's on those wearing hard tires. Any other close battles throughout the grid? Harry Noir and T-Brum, 1.3 seconds separates those two. Jay Hings half a second back on Ariel Jav. Esteban still within DRS, as well as Jamie Met and Rumpel just barely holding on to DRS range. And then it's Jess, Swift, Old School, and Iba all down at the back. So let's ride on board with this. Hings and Jav fighting for what is P9, in which would gift you 4 points to your name in this first race of the championship. Not obviously, but here in League of Europe, the top 12 positions all score points. So you have your normal 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 6, or 12, 10, 8, 6, down to 7th, and then you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But Jay Hings getting close to Jam once again. Is he going to go for it? He's gotten close, but not quite close enough. Let's see if I can get these notifications off just for the time being. Really, really, really quickly. Pop-up notifications off. All right, there we go. And Hings will stay behind up into turn 4. We'll just have to turn those back on. Eventually, Jamie Met and Esteban getting close, but not quite close enough. Nobody's with penalties so far in this race. Swip has just pit for a fresh set of hard tires, which is a little bit questionable, but I won't question him. Connor O'Keefe and Energetic still staying out. Are they going for hard soft? Oh, and it's just as I say, no one has a penalty yet. Esteban gets a 3-second time penalty at turn 10, which is a little bit weird, and he's going side by side with Jamie Met here into turn number 11, and he gets the move done, or retains his position. I'm not entirely sure which. But Jamie Met and Rumpel still on the back of that Alfa Romeo, just opening up a little bit of gap for his teammate in Jay Hings, who's just clawing on to DRS for this next lap. He's going to have 2 bites of the cherry, unless he somehow loses 2-3 tenths down this straight. He should have a DRS up towards turn 4 as well, because he's nowhere near close enough to jab, as Esteban is in from his 18-lap-old medium tire, so he will be making his second pit stop of the evening, and he's going to drop down to P14 as well. Hings P10, Jav P9, Saronje P8, Marcy P7, Jordan P6, Harry Noir P5, T-Brum P4, and Ryan B in P3. He's almost caught up to the back of Energetics. Energetics 13.3 seconds behind Connor O'Keefe, who is the leader of this race. And I think they're going for hard tires. Yeah, Connor O'Keefe continues on to lap number 21. And Energetics completing another lap as well. Ryan B is getting to second since we've been on board, or since we've been talking about these leaders as well. So Ryan B absolutely flying, 32.7 for the Mercedes man. That is some very good pace. Someone get him up to Division 3, please. We don't need him in Division 4. But to be honest, there aren't really many battles. Jay Hings getting towed along by Jav right now with his much older tires, and 9-lap older tires than Jav. And Jav trying to close down Saronje, who's trying to close down Marcy, who's trying to close down Jordan, who is very far away from Harry Noir, T-Brum, and Ryan B. So, yeah. Not exactly what you want, but let's ride on board just for the time being with Jay Hings so I can get a little bit of a drink. Speaking of pitting for soft tires, Esteban has pit for soft tires and has also had a little bit of a spin down there in the middle sector. But once again, to the point I was trying to get to, before Esteban's spin, is Energetics and Ryan B. Ryan B using his ERS, looking to the inside with the DRS, and he's going to be making his move up into P2. So that means Energetics is now a full pit stop behind Ryan B because he still has yet to pit in this race. So as of right now, if I could figure out how to do this, there we go. 17 seconds behind the leader, so I add another 20 seconds onto that. 27 seconds. Energetics is going to be coming out around Harry Noir and Ariel Jordan, which still isn't that bad for the first race of the season. I'm sure he would have wanted a little bit more, considering his pace has been, quite frankly, almost shocking on those hard tires compared to Connor O'Keefe. Jav already pitting for the mediums. Connor O'Keefe, let's see. Bets on him not pitting. I'll take everybody in the chat's $25 right now, and just as I say that, he's into the pits. So I guess goodbye $25. Anyways, I think Jav has just had a spin because he's no longer in front of Hings. He spun down there in the middle sector. He's fallen behind Rumpel, Jamie Ment, and Hings as well. So Jav already ruining that set of medium tires. But let's see what it's going to be for Connor O'Keefe. He's going to be behind Ryan B, behind Energetics, behind T-Brum. Is he going to be, yeah, as I said, he's going to pit for the softs. Connor O'Keefe brakes, makes it through turn 1. He's going to need to get those soft tires warmed up very, very quickly, and he's also going to have to find quite a bit of time to make his way onto the back of Energetics. And you know, this strategy has actually not worked out too bad for the McLaren driver. T-Brum on the back of him, all over the curb there at turn 4 was Connor O'Keefe. Still getting those tires just fired up just a little bit. 6th gear here through the S's, playing it safe. T-Brum looks... No, he doesn't. I was going to say he looks to the inside, but he did the absolute opposite of looking to the inside. He looked to the outside. But yeah, Connor O'Keefe, just try to keep it on the track for the time being. Those tires are going to start to get green on his screen as he warms them up, and now using his ERS is T-Brum. Connor O'Keefe using his ERS as well, just trying to pull that little bit of gap because he knows T-Brum is eager to make a move, but now Connor O'Keefe is going to have those tires fired up as we head through the middle sector. Esteban, even with his spin, 31.621, easily the fastest lap is, ooh, T-Brum with that slide, just hit that curb on the entry at the, just the worst angle possible as Ibo picks up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting, which I'm sure is because he's trying to let some people through. Esteban has spun at turn 1 as well after setting the fastest lap. So now let's ride on board with Connor O'Keefe because through the final sector, and the final sector alone, he's pulled a second away from T-Brum, and now Energetics is only a second in front. And then after that, another 5.5 to Ryan B. And I still don't know why Energetics hasn't pit yet, and he's lifting and coasting. What is going on? Why is he lifting and coasting? I'm so lost. What? Anyways, Connor O'Keefe has made his way past Energetics. What? Yellow flag at turn 1. That's a Williams around. I think that's Swip. No, it's not Swip. It's Ibo. I spun. Yeah. Why? What? I am Confucian. What? I'm so lost right now. He's lifting and coasting on the F1. Okay, that's something new. I guess you learn something new every day. As Connor O'Keefe sets fast lap of the race, 31.2. He's gained half a second after making his way past Energetics, who lost 2 places on that lap. T-Brum still almost 3 seconds behind Connor O'Keefe. And now Ryan B has I wouldn't say challenger because he's still quite far away, but I'm very intrigued to see what's happened here as Esteban has spun once again through the middle sector. Enel Energetics lifting well off the throttle, all the way off the throttle, well before the braking point. And he still has yet to pit in this race. Maybe he's saving fuel? But that doesn't... anyways, I have no idea what this guy's on. Anyways, Ryan B still leading as Jav pits. Maybe he got damaged. I'm not sure why he pit because he's still in the points. Anyways, Ryan B still leading this race. Connor O'Keefe, 4.4, but that gap is always closing. It seems through the flat-out right-hander. You can already see he's getting a little bit of time. Keith had to 10th just through a flat-out corner. T-Brum in 3rd. Energetics doing whatever he's doing in 4th. Harry Noarg in 5th. Jordan in 6th. Saronje 7th. Marcy 8th. Hings in 9th. Jamie Matt in 10th. Rumpel in 11th. Jess in P12. And that's all your points paying positions. Javin 13th looking for the fastest lap. Esteban into the pit lane and will let Old School pass as Connor O'Keefe sets the fastest lap of the race. And Esteban will retire in the pit lane. Yeah, Connor O'Keefe, fastest lap of the race. He only get a second, or maybe 2. No, he only get a second on Ryan B. So Ryan B is still absolutely flying, and Connor O'Keefe has used the almost all of his ERS as Energetics is in the pit lane finally. And it's going to be behind Saronje, Marcy, and Hings once he gets those tires fired up. So I am lost as to what's going on here. Energetics and Hings. And Hings will be up at the P8. So Energetics has 3 cars right in front of him, but he's left himself barely any time to make his way past said cars. So, yeah. I'm not sure what's going on. Also, Rumpel is on the back of Jamie for P10. Fighting for that 1 extra point down there. Now let's ride on board with Energetics. Or we could ride on board. What did I even just say? On board with Connor O'Keefe because he's still trying to close down Ryan B as we head on to lap 27. Only 3 laps to go here in Bahrain. Connor O'Keefe, fastest lap of the race. Energetics has gotten his soft tires fired up, it seems, for Jay Hings. He wants to try and test his tires on the AlphaTauri. The Setzer cars, of course, are both being powered by the Red Bull, the RBPT this season. Energetics, not sure what he's doing. He moves to the inside, gets the ERS, uses all of his ERS, and will make the move. He's up in a P8 now, is Energetics. Yeah, whatever just happened there. Anyways, Ryan B, Connor O'Keefe, I never saw this gap closing. Unless Ryan B makes a mistake, that's the only way Connor O'Keefe is going to be able to make his way past. As Old School swapping positions because they are trying to let people go, or go past them. Energetics has made his way past Jay Hings and has cleared him as well out of DRS. And yeah, Connor O'Keefe closing the gap, but not fast enough because those soft tires are absolutely dead for him. He got a decent amount of laps out of them, and you can see he pulled 8 seconds to T-Brum, but it just wasn't quite enough to get that race victory here tonight as we head on to the penultimate lap. Only 2 laps to go here in Bahrain. Energetics onto the back of Marcy as we head through the middle sectors. The middle sector is where those soft tires are going to thrive, as well as on the exit of most corners, mainly here at turn 13 in the final sector, the exit of the final corner, the exit of turn 1 and the run through 2 and 3 is where those soft tires are going to shine, but mainly it's the middle sector because that's where all the very, very, very important corners are. Energetics looking to set it up the inside of the final corner, and the Red Bull driver able to get the car stopped somehow, and he's going to have to ERS, so he's kind of just finessed Marcy there, and personally, if I was Marcy, I would not have that. Both of them are completely or almost completely out of ERS though as well. And I think Energetics, that will be the highest he's going to get. He could have had a 5th or 6th, possibly, but now he's going to have to settle for 7th as we are a lap and a half away from this from the first round of this championship being over and done with. Ryan B heading through turn 12. Connor O'Keefe has gotten close, but not quite close enough. 2.2 seconds is the gap now between the Mercedes and the McLaren. This is how this race started. P1 for Ryan B, P2 for Connor O'Keefe, and now there's only one more lap to go, and it can stay like this. P1 to P1, P2 to P2 for the top two. I did want to do a little bit of a cool thing where we just kind of rode on board with Ryan B for the entirety of the lap, but we do have to just make sure that nobody else is going to be making any moves. Rumpel and Jamie getting close, but I don't think he'll be close enough considering he's almost out of ERS. So Jamie has all the ERS in the world that he needs to defend. Connor O'Keefe got the gap under 2 seconds. His fight was valiant, but not quite good enough. Pulled almost 10 seconds to T-Brum as well. The gap dips under 1.8, just extends over 1.8 now. And yeah, that's about what the gap is going to be like. Energetics and Saronja getting close now as they head through the middle sector down towards turn 10. If he wants to get a move done, it's going to be either here into 11 or at the final corner. But Ryan B has absolutely dominated this race, and he's going to win the first race here in Season 8 of Division number 4. Connor O'Keefe will take second place on that alternate strategy. The hard to soft does not beat out the medium, or the medium too hard here in Bahrain. Energetics and Saronja. Energetics up the inside. Ooh, a little bit of contact between the two cars. Saronja goes a little bit wide and picks up a 3-second time penalty for that maneuver as well. T-Brum will round out the podium. Saronja looks to the outside, but Energetic blocks him. Both of them go very deep into the final corner, but Energetics on that soft tire is able to get the run, but Saronja's getting there. I don't even know what happened. Anyways, Ryan B wins, followed by Connor O'Keefe. T-Brum will take third. Harry Noarg fourth. A great drive. That's what we always see, really, from Ariel Jordan here in Bahrain. Into the top 5. Energetics P6. Saronja P7. Marcy P8. Jay Hings in 9th. Jamie Met will round out the top 10. And then Rumpel and Jess should finish 11th and 12th to finish to round out the points. Finishers. Jav is in 13th, followed by Swip, Old School, and Ibo and Jav doing donuts. Because because Ibo is a lap down. But yeah, that is it for the first round of this championship. Let me just look through Discord. And there is Ryan B. We saw his character in qualifying as he does his little dance and will dance his way to the top step of the podium here in Bahrain, as well as Connor O'Keefe and T-Brum will be joining him up on the podium. But it's a dream start here for Mercedes. P1 and P5, one of the best results you can get in league racing as well, considering all the cars are equal. But yeah, spraying the champagne under the lights of Secure, and celebrating round number 1 here for Division 4. And now we can look our way to the final results. Ryan B. I was going to say he almost got to that fastest lap, but didn't quite. Only a second off. Ryan B. will finish P1, followed by Connor O'Keefe with the fastest lap points at 19 points to the McLaren driver's name. And then it's T-Brum, Harry Nowark, and Ariel Jordan rounding off that 1.5 for Mercedes. P6 for Energetics. I'm sure he could have had a little bit more, but a questionable driving strategy on his first stint. Then 7th and 8th for the two Alpines, Theron J and Marcy in those two positions. Jay Hings in 9th, Jamie Met in 10th, and then Rumpel and Jess in 11th and 12th, and then Jav, Swip, Old School, and Nibbo are the rest of your finishers, and Esteban retired with only a few laps left to go. And that is the conclusion of the first round of the Division 4 Championship here for season number 8. And Jav saying that he had a cramp. Because he was in a pretty decent position, was he not? Let's see the podium finishers we had. We had Ryan B. And we had, as Connor O'Keefe said he didn't want to do his interview, so T-Brum, hashtag Division 4. Or we could just do PlayStation Party, either way. It doesn't really matter to me. Old School celebrating his one spin as T-Brum has found his way into the waiting room. So let's interview T-Brum here first. Hello, T-Brum. How is it going tonight? Yeah, well, Connor O'Keefe said he doesn't want to do his interview, so we'll get in. You're the first one to join anyway. So, third place, you said you were very happy with your third place. So how do you feel after first round of the championship? Yeah, you did very well overall. Hold on, just give me a second. Let me turn down my game audio. Hold on. It's very, very, very loud. If I can find it. There we go. Yeah. All right. It's all good now. I just had to lower my game volume because it was very loud. But yeah. Anyways, a pretty decent drive to that third place. What did you look at for strategy going into the first round? Because obviously new game, new handling model in the last week. So what were you looking forward to, either going hards, mediums, and we even saw a few softs at the beginning of the race? Yeah, we saw our race winner, Ryan B, do the same exact strategy as you. There was a few differences to some other people. We saw a hard medium. We even saw a hard soft, and that's what Connor O'Keefe did to second place. Did you ever think about starting on the hards and maybe going to either a medium or a soft tire? Yeah, anyways, congratulations. And then also, for next week, we head to Imola. So, what are your thoughts about Imola and how do you think you can do? Yeah, well, we'll look forward to seeing you in the next race. So, have a lovely rest of your evening. Now, we'll wait to see if Ryan B. That would be... Oh, that might be a little bit of a problem. Well, if there's no game sound, I don't think it really matters either way. But that would have been... Oh, that's not great. Oh, let me join, please. Hello.
Hello.
Well, it's interesting seeing you back here in Division 4, Ryan B. And, well, seeing the same exact thing as if you started off another season with race victory. So how do you feel?
Good. That last few laps was a bit nerve-wracking, shall I say, with Connor catching me, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, you did have... you had some really good pace, especially in qualifying. Qualifying on pole position by 3.5 tenths, 28.4, I believe, 28.3.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, really solid qualifying, and then some really good race pace on the medium to hard. Did you ever think about doing the hard medium? Just thinking about the tire warm up.
No, I was worried about safety car with it. I was expecting a couple of spinners to cause a safety car, which would have probably ruined the hard strategy, but yeah, I was surprised there wasn't one.
Yeah, I think I was surprised. I was surprised there wasn't one as well, especially in D1, because normally we do have at least one in the first round of the championship. So, yeah, especially with the new game handling model as well. But yeah, anyways, congratulations, and then to Imola next week. How do you feel?
Probably going to spin at the double right-hander.
Oh, Aqua Minerale. We hate mineral
That's
water.
the one.
Mineral water gets the best of me every time.
Yeah, probably going to spin there. I'm expecting Connor to come at me with some fury, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, well, it'd be great to see you again. Once again, congratulations, and I'll see you on your way. And I can also
Awesome.
end out the stream here. So, yeah, everybody, that was the first round of the championship for Division 4 at Bahrain. Next week, as you've already seen and heard, that we will be heading to Imola. Same time next week, 8:10 BST for Divisions 2 and 4. Go check out J. Cole, and I believe Carmentala should be back next week as well. And then also Division 1 and Division 3, 6:30 BST. You can go check myself out, probably spinning into a wall next week in Division 1. But anyways, that's been it. It's been great for the first round of the championship. That's been myself, Ethan Song, QVR Packer. Hopefully Maverick will be back with us next week. And